Welcome to the Nectar and Grit podcast, where we take 5 minutes to talk with actors and filmmakers about weird shit. Ian Harris, welcome to the Nectar and Grit podcast. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How you doing?
I
Good
guess
to
it's
have you.
probably afternoon for you in Ireland, huh?
It is. It's 3. It's almost 4 o'clock.
Ah, all right. Well, let's get started with letting you tell the audience what projects you've got happening, coming up there that you've been working on.
Got a few. I've got I'm helping produce a film that my daughter's starring in called Rollins. It's a movie about the first girl to wrestle on the boys' team in high school wrestling, varsity. And then got a movie I'm working here in Ireland called IRL, Looking for Larkin. But the big one that I've been working on for 5 years that I finally think is going to be. I've shot some of it, but I think we finally got all the funding. We'll be finishing in summer is my movie Standby, which stars Sean Astin and John Cleese, Margaret Cho, Abigail Breslin. It's a really cool ensemble cast, and it's like a dream movie I've been trying to make for years. And that's I think we finally got the funding, and we're finishing it in August. So that's exciting.
That's awesome. Congrats on
Thank
that.
you.
So if you could make a movie, any movie, and it would come true, what would it be?
I think I would make a movie, a retelling of Jonestown with the
Oh,
MAGA movement. So it would be MAGA Town, and would be Jim Jones, and it would end just the way Jonestown ended.
all right. And if you had to give a TED talk about something you are wildly unqualified for, what would it be?
That's hard. I would say there's like a couple things that are popular that I am clueless about. I know nothing about gaming, video games, zero. Soccer or football, as they call it here, zero. And modern pop music. I'm a music encyclopedia that stops when it gets to pop music, like modern pop music. Throw me in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, alt music, weird music, swing music, big band music, jazz. I've got it all up here. Throw me modern pop, show me a Taylor Swift song, and I will go, who is that? I don't know.
So that's what you want to do a TED talk on, just ramble about what you don't know about Taylor Swift and
Exactly.
Gomez or something.
Exactly.
All right. What's the grossest and most uncomfortable location you've ever shot in?
Man, I was thinking about that too. I can't think of a bad location. I will say though, the the most uncomfortable situation I've ever had in shooting is in my very first film. I had a character that was originally described as like there's these comedians on the road. It's a mock doc, and like this, it's like this. They were talking about all the hot chicks they meet, and this girl, she's described as like fat and not very and ugly whatever, and gets off the bar and is like, hey, what's up? And they're like, whoa. And I had to cast that role, and I had to cast that role with a friend, and I was like, hey, I need so I had to change. I mean, I didn't make it as bad as I said originally, but I had to cast it as like, hey, the one that nobody wants to have sex with, would you do that part? And that was
That's
very
awesome.
uncomfortable. And luckily,
I bet.
my friend's awesome, and she was like, yeah, I got you.
No, that's fun. Probably not at the time, but
No.
what flower feels like it would be absolute like it would absolutely have a huge ego?
Oh, it's for sure a rose. Roses already have an ego. You can just tell, like they think they're better than everybody else. Everyone talks about how they smell, how they look, how sweet they are. You
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
Roses are pretentious. They live in Santa Monica. They drive a Range Rover.
What's the most we should not have been able to pull this off, but we did moment you've had in filmmaking?
That's honestly tough because like I think everything I've ever done, like I've made comedy specials that were like $1 million looking comedy specials for like 10 grand. I've done all sorts of, but the very first film I ever did It Burns When I Laugh, we shot on $27,000 back on film, 16 millimeter, 8 days, two giant, like 15 locations. It was crazy. We had to shoot all that on no money. And when I look back, I'm like, I can't believe we did that for $27,000. Insane. But I think the craziest, the best thing I've done, at least recently, that was like that was the thing I was talking about to you earlier, like my film Standby. I had to shoot as a proof of concept. John Cleese was available for a couple of days, and he agreed to do it. And and he kind of called me like, "I'll be in LA in 2 weeks. Can we shoot your little thingy?"
Oh.
And this is like a major feature film, and it's 20 pages of a feature film. It's a big shot. But he was like,
Yeah.
when am I going to get him? He's in his 80s. He doesn't live here. And
Right.
he's a legend. He's like my hero, like one of my all
Right.
time.
Right.
And I'm like, he's willing to do this to help me. And I had to get a hold of Sean Astin and SAG and a crew and build an airport. And I had to do all that in 2 weeks, basically, and get it all approved, maybe 3 weeks, and get it and shot and make it look good and get supporting actors and do all that, which I did. And now we've got that in the can, and that's the thing that has allowed us to get the money for the rest of the film, which we're going to be shooting. So pulling that off was pretty damn cool.
I bet. That's crazy. Well, it was good chatting with you. Our 5 minutes is up.